This show is brought to you by Whatever You Say Productions, starting conversations since 2018.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Fifis Funhouse. I'm here with my very special guest today, Ariel Sinclair. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm so lovely, so happy that you're here. Would you like to join me on the slide down into the foyer?
Yes, please. Whee!
Oh, wasn't that fun? Welcome now to my all cheetah print Swarovski crystalled foyer of dreams and hopes. I'd like to take this time to discuss an upcoming holiday. Heterosexuals would call it 4th of July, but here on the East Coast, we celebrate something a little different. It's the Fire Island Pines Invasion. It happens every year. I want to read a little bit of history about it, and then I want to get your thoughts and feelings about it.
Okay.
Here we go. During the summer of 1976, a restaurant in Fire Island Pines, New York, denied entry to a visitor in drag named Terry Warren. Fire Island Pines is a beach community on Fire Island, east of New York City, with a gay majority population that was at the time more affluent and conservative than the population of nearby Cherry Grove. When Warren's friends in Cherry Grove heard what had happened, they too dressed up in drag, and on July 4th, 1976, with Cherry Grove's 1976 homecoming queen, Tom Hansen, a.k.a. Pansy, in the lead, sailed to the Pines by water taxi. The boatload of drag queens that stormed into the Pines that day to a surprised but exuberant welcome was the first invasion, an event now repeated each year. How many times have you done the Fire Island Invasion?
I've probably done it around 12, 15 times.
Wow.
I mean, it's a magical day. It's everyone's together and everyone's just feeling like, amazing. And some of the costumes are just so stunning.
Yeah, so to this day, Pansy still organizes, at least part of it. She organizes the boat and everything, right? So you've met Pansy and you've worked with her a few times.
Oh, yes. She's organized it since the very beginning, I do believe. And this year, since it's World Pride, we'll be having not one, but 2 boats full of drag queens.
Amazing. I'm excited. This will be my 3rd year doing the invasion. And first year I did it, I went over to the Pines, had the whole party experience, and then they have a little costume contest at one of the hotels over on the Pine side, and I entered that, and I won the very first time.
And was that the year you were dressed like a poodle?
No, that was the year I was dressed. I had an outfit made of all bath accessories. It was like loofahs and exfoliating gloves and shower caps. And then the following year, I got 2nd place when I was dressed like the poodle. Yes, I had a big pink poodle costume. You can find it on my Instagram. Maybe we'll post a picture to the Fifis Funhouse podcast Instagram.
Ooh.
Yes, we have our own Instagram. It's brand new, at Fifis Funhouse. Come and follow me. You can also make sure this is our first episode of Fifis Funhouse. I'm happy that you're my very first guest.
I'm very excited to be here.
So, the Pines Invasion, what is your favorite part about it, and what's your least favorite part about it?
Well, my favorite part about it is the old girls getting together and everyone dressed up and having fun. And we all get together over in the Grove, have a few drinks, then we get on the boat, and then we get off the boat. And the audience over there is amazing. They're so grateful to see us. That's the fun part. But over the years, it's become more like so organized that we don't have fun anymore. It's like we're cattle. We have to go. We can't really get off the boat and do whatever we want because you have to go here, you have to go there. But I would say my most fun year ever was 2002 when I was homecoming queen, because you're on the front of the boat and everyone's looking at you, and it was just a great, 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 fabulous day.
Yeah, I think you're right about it being very organized. Like everyone has to be there at the same time. I even got scolded a little bit one year because I tried to buy my ticket and I had my makeup on, but I wasn't in my costume yet. And you're like, you have to be in drag, and I was like, I'm in drag. And then like, just because my dick's not up my ass yet doesn't mean I'm not in drag. So I tried to buy my ticket, and I was laughing because she's telling me I'm not in drag, but this was a lesbian wearing a mustache, and that was her drag. I was like, you're gonna tell me because I have a full face of makeup and no costume on, I'm not in drag, but you're in drag because you have a mustache on? Personal vendetta.
Very bizarre.
But I think the other thing that I don't love is how it's a long day in drag. And of course you're having fun, so you want to hang out with your friends and drink and run around and all the shenanigans. Last year I hung out with Champagne Bubbles, who was Miss Fire Island at the time, and Sylvia Hart from Connecticut, good time gals. We were jumping on people's boats and taking photo shoots on random, like very fancy yacht style boats on the Pines.
And there's a lot of them over there.
Yeah. Well, and then we got invited to a boat party by some queens that were out having fun. We're like, cocktails? Yes, please. So we just invited ourselves onto the boat.
And you go boat jumping.
We quite literally did. We're just jumping from boat to boat until we got invited to a party. Ariel, you have been out on Fire Island for a long time. This is your 25th year, is that correct?
Correct.
Correct. How did you get started on Fire Island? What was your first year like? How did you get into it? What was your experience starting on Fire Island 25 years ago?
I always used to come out here and, you know, I would see the pool shows and stuff. And then one summer I was like, you know what, I want to work out here. And I got a job in the office of the Grove Hotel. Mm-hmm. And I worked in the office for many years in the hotel. And then one summer, management was like, hey, let's have you do drag shows. I was like, yes, please. And the rest is history.
History. 25 years out on Fire Island. Now I'm going to ask the same question. Oh, no, this is what I was going to ask you. Back on track. If you were to describe someone, Fire Island, or especially Cherry Grove, that's never been or has never heard of it, maybe they're from the West Coast, maybe they're from another country, how would you describe Cherry Grove and Fire Island to someone that's never heard of it or never even known what it is?
I would say Cherry Grove is a mix of many, many different things. You have lesbians, gays, bis, transgender, children, straight people. And I feel like for the most part, everybody is welcome. And everyone feels like they're welcomed, and the beach is amazing, and the food is amazing, and it's just a place where the entertainment, of course. I just feel like it's a place where you can come and just be yourself if you're not the normal. If that makes sense.
I think I've always described my comparison is between Pines and Cherry Grove. Cherry Grove to me has always been more like a community, more like a village, like very small town feeling. Everybody feels like they know each other. Everyone knows, and the businesses work together. Like it's very lovely. Whereas the Pines feels a little more commercial, more like a city, and a little more hoity-toity. Still love some of the businesses out there, some of the entertainers that work out there. I have a great time whenever I do the Invasion. I pretty much go to the Pines once a year for the Invasion and have a great day out there. But I prefer Cherry Grove, and I like the community of it. People try to compare Fire Island to Provincetown. I've actually never been to Provincetown, but from whatever, it's not. They're not the same. They're very different. They're very different towns, communities.
I remember going when I was I think I was 11 years old with my family, and we were walking through the town, and I'm like, oh my God, all these guys are holding hands. Like, what is going on? And then as I got older, I realized, like, oh, Provincetown is gay.
I love that realization when you see things for the first time as a kid, and then you put it together many years like, oh, that's what I saw. Yeah. So let's venture into a different room in my house. We're going to take a long walk down this little hallway here. I have this little bookshelf here. It's not a bookshelf. I'm going to pull this book, and we're in another room. Welcome to my Belle's Beauty and the Beast library room, filled with only Disney books, because I am, of course, obsessed with Disney.
Oh my God, is that the first edition of Peter Pan?
It sure is. And I also have a VHS tape of Mary Martin's Peter Pan, just because that was my favorite growing up. Did you watch Mary Martin's Peter Pan?
Yes.
Yeah, no, so I watched Peter Pan, the cartoon, as a kid, and I loved it, because it was a story with a boy in the lead, because I'd grown up with Disney princess movies, and I was like, there's no stories about boys. And
a boy in the lead played by a woman.
Well, that's with the cartoon, and then I saw Mary Martin, Peter Pan, and it was a musical, and it was so fun and sweet, and I just loved her energy, and yeah, that was one of my favorite movies growing up. I loved movie musicals, loved Mary Poppins, Peter Pan, all those. But we're in my Disney room because I wanna find out. I know you're a Disney fan, but what kind of Disney fan would you describe yourself as? Would you say you're more of a Disney Parks fan, a Disney movie fan, or maybe a Disney merch fan? I'm not sure. What kind of Disney fan are you?
I think I'm an all-around Disney fan. I love it all. I love the movies. I love the merchandise. I love the parks. And I don't know how people can go to Disney World or Disneyland for the weekend. It just, how do they do that? It's like you have to, like, you spend a week there. You have to spend 2 weeks there, a month.
I think if you are a pass holder, it's easier to do that. Yeah, I can't do a vacation at Disney World for just 2 days.
No.
Like if it's the one time I'm gonna get to go for the year, I've got to do at least 4 days. At least be able to do one of the parks. So you're an all-around fan. Let's start with movies. What is your favorite Disney movie, and what's your least favorite Disney movie?
Of course, I have to say my favorite Disney movie is The Little Mermaid. Not
Ariel Sinclair, your favorite movie is Little Mermaid? How surprising.
But I actually had the name Ariel before The Little Mermaid came out. So everyone thinks I always got my name from The Little Mermaid, but I didn't. But it's still my favorite Disney movie. I love it. I think it's just, the story is, I don't know, the story is just so great.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have a cousin named Ariel, and she actually is named after The Little Mermaid. It came out around that time. So your favorite movie is Little Mermaid. I think my favorite Disney movie right now, oh my goodness, it's so hard. My favorite Disney princess would be Ariel, for sure. My favorite Disney movie, maybe it's Dumbo. I love movies that make me cry. Like I'm a sadist. I don't know what it is. I love Up. I love Toy Story 3. I love.
Oh my God, Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 puts me through it. I've watched it 6 times, and every single time I still boohoo cry. I was on a plane to Japan, sitting next to some Japanese businessman who's minding his own business, and I'm sitting there like watching Toy Story, convulsing and crying and sobbing. He's like, "What is wrong with this kid?"
You're like, it's Toy Story 3.
It's Toy Story 3. You gotta watch it. You'll get it. What's your least favorite Disney movie? We didn't do that one.
My least favorite Disney movie, I have to think about that. Probably like those older ones like Robin Hood or something like that. Yeah.
I like Robin Hood. I think it's a cute one. I like the music from Robin Hood. I watched it recently. The animation is rough when you go back and watch it. My least favorite, I'm going to say, there was one that I watched that I was like really like absolutely not. I did not see the new Dumbo. Apparently everyone hates the new Dumbo. But I haven't seen the new Dumbo. I'm going to say, is it Cars? Maybe Cars 2.
Yeah.
Cars 2 for sure. But I like the Cars movies. I thought they were cute.
Like, give me a car but have a princess in it.
Did you see Ralph Breaks the Internet?
Not yet.
Oh my God, you have to see it. They have a great moment with all the princesses. It's a whole thing. I mean, of course, it's Disney being self-serving, but I'm a Disney fan, so serve away. Like,
serve it up.
Who is your favorite Disney villain? I wonder if it's going to be like, mine's more obscure. Mine's not as mainstream as most people's.
It would definitely have to be the evil queen from Snow White.
A classic. For me, she doesn't have much of a personality. I think as the years went on, the villains got more and more developed. I mean, she has a motive, and she has a vendetta, and she has the fun hag persona. I think for me, I have my top 3, but my number 1 always and will forever be Yzma, because Eartha Kitt as Yzma is just the epitome of evil and camp and just.
I have to watch that one again.
Emperor's New Groove.
I have to watch that one again. Emperor's New Groove.
It's a bit of a cult hit. Like, it wasn't a big standout hit when it first came out, but over the years it has gained more popularity through big Disney fans like myself.
And it's the story of the Emperor's New Clothes, or
no? So the title is based off of the Emperor's New Clothes, but it's a completely different story. I think it is based in some sort of lore, but I'm not sure. It's not a very popular tale that I think that it's based on. No, it's based on. It's a story of I think they're in Peru. I think he's like a Peruvian emperor from way back in time in the past, and he's very self-involved and wants to take over this village to make his own vacation home. But there's also Yzma, who's plotting against him, who wants to become the emperor. So she's trying to kill him, and instead of killing him, she turns him into a llama. Lovely, hysterical movie. Then my second favorite goes to, of course, Ursula, because she's the original drag queen supervillain. Like, I feel like they all look like drag queens now. I think it's a slow trickle. It started with Evil Queen. She just had like a cunty brow and a nice lip. And then you got Maleficent, who is like gaunt and like painted. And then you got to...
Oh, I'm definitely excited about Maleficent 2.
Maleficent 2. I saw the trailer. There's one costume in the trailer. It's at the very end that I really want to get made. She looks like nude and like she's like covered in paint. It looks so cool. And then my last is going to be Cruella de Vil because she kills for fashion. Like, it's a horrible thing to look up to as a child, but I love it.
Now, did you love Glenn Close as
Both.
Cruella?
I love both iterations of that particular villain. And I'm interested. They're doing a new Cruella movie like they did Maleficent. They're doing a Cruella movie. It's supposedly based in the 80s. These are all rumors.
She's younger.
It's younger
When
Cruella,
she's younger.
based in the 1980s. It's like her backstory kind of thing. And I forgot who they said is going to play. It's someone that I was like not expecting at all. But like Glenn Close did such a iconic portrayal of a classic character. They're saying Emma Stone, I think, is in consideration for, or maybe she's already been cast and they're just keeping it hush hush. Who knows? But I was like, that's not. I mean, I could see her do it. I think she could do it. She's the one from Devil Wears Prada, right? She's the assistant. No, that's Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt, who was Mary Poppins,
right.
new Mary
and
Poppins.
Then Emma Watson, who is Belle.
Yes, too many Emmas, Emilys, Emersons. I have an issue with. Sometimes I have issues with reiterations of new villains. Like, I'm also a bit of a comic book nerd, and I love Batman, but I like Batman for the villains. Same way, like with a lot of Disney, I like Disney for the villains.
So who's your favorite Batman villain?
My favorite Batman villain is the Riddler, but I had a problem with certain iterations of the Joker because I like the Joker. Not my favorite, but still, like, I think he needs to be respected because he's the iconic Batman villain. I'm gonna get so much hate for this, but I do not like Heath Ledger's version of the Joker. Did you see The Dark Knight?
Oh yes, of course.
Did
But
you like
a lot
it?
of people felt the same way. They felt like it was too dark and
It was too far removed from the source material for me. Like, they changed too much about his character. They said that he was wearing makeup. The Joker doesn't wear makeup. He was burned in an acid bath. That's why he has white skin. He runs around with a bazooka just shooting at people. Joker, everything he did had intention. He wasn't just a blatant criminal. Like, so there are things about it I didn't care for.
Did you like the TV show from the 60s?
The camp with oh god, who played
Adam West.
Adam West, but who was Joker was Caesar
Romero.
Caesar Romero was that Joker. But the problem is that they made the mistake of doing the Riddler first. So the Riddler from the 1960s, the first iteration was very similar to what the Joker is kind of meant to be. So they kind of, when they finally introduced the Joker, they kind of had two really similar villains, just different looks, but their characters and characteristics were very similar.
By any chance, in this Funhouse, do you have a comic book room?
I don't have a comic book room. That's actually, my comic book room is under construction at the moment. We're getting it renovated. We're getting new grappling hooks and things installed, and webs for Spider-Man kissing sessions. It's a comic book room / sex dungeon. It's an all-inclusive.
I'll have to come back for that one.
Yeah, when we're under renovation, yeah, we'll have to have you back when our comic book room is ready. Back to Disney, because everything in my life always comes back to Disney. I think drag and Disney. She's the Disney queen. She loves it.
What do you think about what do they call it when they have people dress up like the characters? What is that called?
In the parks or at conventions?
In the parks.
In the parks, it's Disney bounding
Right.
for adults, because kids under 12 are allowed to dress up in like costumes, but adults are not allowed to wear costumes because they don't want you getting mistaken for the actual cast members for actual Disney characters, because there can't be more than one Snow White walking around because there's only one Snow White, you know. But that brings me to another thing. I love, my favorite time to go to Disney World is for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, because adults are allowed to dress up. You're allowed to do full costumes. It's so fun. They do have certain rules, like if you're wearing a princess dress, it can't be full length, so that you're not mistaken for an actual Disney princess. But when me and my husband went last time, me and my fiance, we did Pain and Panic from Hercules. So we both had like suits that were blue and burgundy to portray the characters. And like some people got it, some people didn't. Like we weren't wearing like full like mascot bodysuits.
Was it more bounding or was it more like costume?
It was more bounding. We did more of a bound, but still we were wearing full suits, makeup, horns, wings, whole thing.
Now, bounding, you would say, how would you describe bounding?
Bounding, Disney bounding specifically. You can look up hashtag Disney bounding. There's tons of Instagrams on it. There's Wikipedia pages on it. It's where you dress in like street clothes that allude to a certain character. Like if you're going to be, let's say Captain Hook, you might wear like a shirt with a lacy collar and then like a red trench coat and like black pants and maybe some sort of fancy hat to allude to a silhouette or color palette of Captain Hook. Or like Smee is a really easy one. A striped shirt, khaki shorts, and a beanie. You're Smee. Like I've seen people do like Lilo and Stitch where they'll wear all blue with like different shades and then like maybe a set of ears. Or what's a good one? I've seen people do like Mary Poppins where they wear her color palette, but it's not an exact replica of the costume. And now even Disney sells like outfits that are kind of Disney boundy. They're park appropriate, but they look similar to the character's dress and outfit. Speaking of Disney parks, what would you say is your favorite Disney World theme park? Have you been to California as well?
I haven't been to Disneyland yet. It's on my list.
I went when I was like 15, and I want to go back really bad. That's what I tell my fiance every year. I want to go for my birthday, and he's like, "That's expensive." I'm like, "And I want to go to Disneyland." But I haven't been in years because I'm well, it was only about a year ago because I'm only 16, so it's so fresh in my mind. But I need to refresh my memory. What is your favorite Disney World theme park?
I used to love. Oh no, I can't even think of the name. But where they did all the movies and stuff, like the movie ride.
Oh, the Great Movie Ride.
Great Movie Ride.
Disney Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, that was my favorite ride in Disney Hollywood Studios.
Disney Hollywood Studios. I was so sad when they closed the Great Movie Ride. I know people that didn't care for it. They're like, oh, it was just a fancy walkthrough or a fancy museum. I was like, it was really cool. Like you felt like you were in those scenes, like the Mary Poppins one with the chimney sweeps dancing all around you.
And the Wicked Witch from The Wizard of Oz.
Oh my God, the animatronic for the Wicked Witch was. As a kid, I used to think it was a woman. I thought she was gonna come and get on our car every single time. Like I was like, she's gonna come over, and I was terrified. I love the Great Movie Ride. So you used to love Disney Hollywood Studios back when it was all about behind the scenes in the movies.
Right. And now it's like all the lands and stuff. Now, what's amazing now is Pandora in Animal Kingdom.
I have not been to Pandora yet. I'm going in December for mini vacation and to get married officially. We're getting married at the Polynesian Resort, which I'm very excited about. But I have not done Pandora yet. I really want to do Pandora. I'm excited. Star Wars Land, Galaxy's Edge will be open when I get there. We'll get to go to Batuu.
Toy Story Land.
Toy Story Land I've not done yet, so it'll be a lot of great new experiences for me. I think my favorite park is Epcot. I love all the countries. I like Mission Space. I like Test Track. I love Figment, but I'm not a big fan of the current version. Did you go on the old one where they had the
Yes, with the little Figment and yeah.
And he was everywhere and he was so cute and it was.
And I loved Ellen's Energy ride.
That 45-minute ride. That ride was grueling. It was 45 minutes and the slowest moving car, and it was just a bunch of screens. I did not care for Ellen's Energy Adventure, it was called. In the universe,
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
With Bill Nye and Jamie Lee Curtis like played her roommate or something. It was so bizarre. Which is now that building is getting turned into a Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster, which has apparently some crazy new technology. So we said Disney parks. What is your favorite Disney merch? What's the favorite thing you've ever, like, official Disney merchandise that you've ever purchased that you, like, cherish?
Every time I go to Disney, I always get, because they're just so cool and I just love the way they make them, is a tote bag. I know it's weird to say, but I always manage to get a tote bag because I just love the way they make them.
Oh, that's so funny. Your favorite thing, yeah. You have your Disney tote. It hasn't left your side the whole time we've been here because you don't want me to steal your money. But a lady can never be too certain. She always has to have her purse on her. But I think my thing, I've recently gotten into the ears. I love
rose gold.
I don't have rose gold ones. I didn't care for. I'm not a rose gold person. I don't like gold. Period. I'm more of a silver person. But they have like these cute holographic ones. I have 4th of July ones. I have ones that have like a little crown on them. I want to get the gay pride ones that they have. I don't like the Minnie Mouse ears for those. I actually like they have a hat, like a men's baseball cap that has the rainbow ears on it that are really cute that I want to get. But my favorite merch as a kid, what did I love? I always got like the Disney McDonald's toys. We would go like every week to go and get whatever it was. I remember when they were doing the collection, they had re-released a bunch of the old films. They had done a collection, and all the toys came and they looked like little VHS boxes, and you would open it up and it had a figurine inside, but they looked like the VHS cases.
Do you still have them?
Yes, they're still in my house in Florida, someplace. And some of them are like still in the container. Some of them have been taken out or whatever and played with.
Do you think you would ever have another fun house, like 2 fun houses?
Two fun houses?
One in Florida, one here?
I mean, my fun house, it what's the word I'm looking for? It's beyond space and time. My fun house, it exists anywhere. It exists everywhere. It exists with you, my listeners, with you, Ariel Sinclair, in my Disney Beauty and the Beast Belle library room. It exists anywhere and everywhere.
This room is amazing. I mean, I can't even describe what it looks like. There's just so many great books here and videos, and I could just spend the whole day in this room.
Just infinite ceilings and tapestries.
And what is your goal with Fifis Funhouse?
Fifis Funhouse, it's a drag show that you don't have to look at my ugly face during. I get to just talk to you and feel like we're friends. It's a little bit human interest. It's a little bit shooting the shit. It's anything and everything you want it to be. I think it's going to be ever changing and ever evolving, just like Fifis Funhouse, because I'm obviously having renovations done on my comic book / sex dungeon. I have some expansions we're working on at the back of the house. We're working on a sunroom and an indoor pool. We have an outdoor pool right now, but we want an indoor pool as well.
That slide is amazing.
I'm getting 3 more. I'm getting one slide that actually goes up. It's new technology, brand new technology. I'm working with Imagineering over at Disney. I commandeered some of their workers to work on my upward slide. It's like Chutes and Ladders, but backwards.
Like an indoor water park or something.
But no water going up your ass like at Typhoon Lagoon. Have you been on one of those water coasters? They're really fun. I remember when that came out, like, God, probably like 10 years ago now. I was like, this is crazy. They can make a water slide that goes up, and it's just a jet pushing your tube up and like a hill that's maybe like 3 feet tall. Like, it's really not that crazy, but it was.
And the water goes right up your ass.
It sure does. And if you do the like summit plummet, your bathing suit goes right up your fucking crack too. Or if you're wearing the wrong bathing suit top, you get a nice show for everyone watching with their dads and their turkey legs at Disney World. I think I want to go into another room now. Would you join me on another adventure in my funhouse?
This place is so huge.
I know it's vast and far-reaching. We're now going to step into my drag room. This is not only a room where I get into drag, it's a room where I do drag shows, where I celebrate.
Here. Look at all this jewelry.
I know. All Swarovski, all real diamonds. It's both Swarovski and diamonds.
Now, are the diamonds, did you buy them or did fans give them to you? Or
These are all blood diamonds. Blood diamonds, but of course, the only way to find diamonds, truly. So in my drag room, I want to gift you this all Swarovski crystal size 4.5 shoe. I know you're a 5.5, but I think you can squeeze.
Oh my God, I feel like Cinderella.
I mean, it's a perfect fit, right? Custom made just for you. I had my cobblers work on it off of a mold I took of your foot while you were sleeping.
Oh my God, look at this shoe. It's gorgeous. Thank you, Fifi.
You're so welcome. We're not going to post a picture of her new shoe on the FiFis Funhouse Instagram because the shoe does what? Not exist. Just like everything else here in Fifis Funhouse. It exists in our minds, in our memories, and in our hearts.
That's what drag is all about, imagination.
Imagination. No Atomigami, which is imagination backwards.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about drag, specifically your drag. When did you start doing drag in general, and how did you get into it?
So many years ago.
This is when you were going to college with Jesus, or with Florence Henderson. You guys rode the bus together.
Yes, many years ago. And like every little drag queen, of course, it's Halloween, and that's when you start. And then you go to the gay bar, and you see the drag show, and you're like, hey, I want to do that. Next thing you know, you're doing it. And, you know.
This was in New York City?
Yes, Queens.
In
I was
Queens.
very lucky that I had a gay bar like 15 minutes from my house, so I was able to like very young like go to this gay bar and just go there every week and enter the contest, and I didn't care about money. I just wanted to be on stage, and I loved it, and I learned the craft at a young age. And you know, a lot of things that I learned about drag still stay with me today. Like, if the bar doesn't make money, you don't make money. A lot of girls don't get that.
Yeah. How long did it take you before you were happy with your look and your face? For me, it honestly took me about 4 years till I really liked the way that I looked and thought what I was seeing in my head was finally coming out in front of people.
Yeah, when I first started, I was hideous.
Aren't we
thought I could just just wear blue eyeshadow and no lashes and
Lip gloss, mascara, and a dream. Yeah, you thought you were fish, girl. Absolutely stunning. What is your favorite trend in drag, and what's your least favorite trend? This is a new thing. I don't think drag used to really have as much of a set style. I mean, there were schools of drag back in the day, but now I feel like there's trends, like in fashion or like in anything. That one of my least favorite trends. I'm so over the Marcel wave wig. Do you know what that means? It's like a finger wave wig, and it's the same wig. Everyone wears it, and it's gorgeous, and I love the look of it. I'm just sick of seeing it, and it doesn't go with every look. It makes no sense to me when I see people wearing like hip hop style, like Cardi B, Nicki Minaj inspired kind of clothes, and then this Marcel wave wig. I was like, this is a vintage style. It doesn't make sense with this like new wave outfit you're wearing. So that's one of the things I don't like. One of the trends I do like, I mean, I love a monologue and a number, like a speaking moment. That's, of course, very trendy. But that started back with Lip Synca back in the 80s. When was that?
I would say so, yes.
Yeah. I mean, she still does it. She paved the way for that. She was the only one kind of doing that. People weren't even lip syncing that much back then. She was kind of the pioneer for that more than anything. But the monologue thing, definitely no one was doing that. And now she's made that a big staple. I know I do a lot of mixes like that. Tina Burner is someone in New York City that's very well known for her monologue mixes. What are two trends that you've noticed that you do and don't like?
Well, the one I don't like is the Marilyn helmet wig. You know, it's the Marilyn wig that's a helmet. It's just a big teased out.
I don't know. I'm here for it because I'm a dancer and I don't want my hair in my face. So I either wear like a helmet or like a bus driver wig, like a little pussycat tight wig. I can't do big bouncy hair because it's in my face. I've never mastered the hairography. There are so many queens that can whip their hair out of their face on a dime, and I'm constantly like eating hair or like pushing it out of my face. Can't do long wigs. Can't do like unstyled, like natural kind of things. I can't. I'm not good at that with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I like my hair to move a little bit, but
I don't mind a bounce.
That wig looks good on some people, but for me, it's just like, and then you just see everybody wearing it. It's like a trend that, like you said, that other wig, the Marcel wig.
It won't die. Yeah. And then what's a trend that you do like?
I like when you see a lot of people that are individuals and they're just doing their own thing and they're trying to be different.
Yeah.
So I like that trend.
I think I would agree with you with that because I'm part of a show at the Stonewall Inn called Polish the Queen, and we are currently in our summer season, which means that we're doing prelims each week to go to a finale in July. And I just did a show with the three first prelim winners, and they're all so different. It's Mr. Miss Adrian, who is from Orlando, Florida, just moved to New York. She does a lot of like illusions and characters and celebrities, but also is a great dancer and very charismatic performer. And then you have Jack Dahlia, who is a bearded queen, but she is the epitome of a sex kitten, like just so sultry and sexy and a beautiful dancer and mover, but
with a beard.
With a beard, like she moves like a Dita Von Teese or like very sexy, like a video vixen, like just White Snake car, like that whole fantasy, but bearded and very cute boy, and gorgeous makeup too, like still painted. That's me for bearded queens. If your face is still beat, I'm fine with it. I just don't like when it's a beard and then like a whisper of eyeshadow. I'm like, that's not drag. That's
or glitter in the beard and like no eye makeup.
Yeah, I want to still see the art of drag. For me, I love makeup. I think that's a big part of it. If I see someone that's a really great entertainer that their makeup's not that great, I'm not gonna knock you for it. But I think it's a quintessential part for me.
I've been a judge for Polish the Queen a few times, and the few times that I've done it, there was so many different varieties of drag. Like you said, you had the bearded queen, you had the
comedy queen,
like the big girl that did the split, the
yeah.
Latina queen.
Yeah.
And years ago when I did it, I fell in love with Sissy Walken. I think she was just so great.
Who is now Miss Stonewall. She grew out of Polish the Queen and has gone on to do incredible things. I'm really, really proud of her. At Sissy Walken on Instagram, I believe. CISSY Walken, WALKEN.
And that contest is just, like I was saying earlier, like that's how I learned, by doing contests and like just getting out there and doing it. And even if you fail, you succeed, you get to be on the stage, and that's how you learn. Yeah,
and the last contestant for the prelims is Nova Czar, who's this very like kind of club kitty, cool creature of a queen, kind of masculine in look, but then has the lightest, highest soprano voice, like sounds like a woman, but has this like weird creature, hairy chest, but this voice of a nightingale, like just an incredible vocalist. So it's just the diversity, and they're non-apologetic for who they are. They're happy with their drag and their style, but they're also coming to Polish the Queen because we have judges and we give critiques. So we're there to help you make your style of drag even better than it already is. We're not here to change you and tell you what to do. We've had incidents with judges being like, oh, you have to wear pads. And I'm like, no, I think she looks great without pads. If there's something like the costume doesn't look right without pads, like I've seen, like if you buy off the rack stuff, it always has that pocket for pads. And if you wear it without pads, sometimes it looks dumpy instead of sexy like you think it's going to.
And also, I always feel like if you are wearing pads, I don't want to see them.
I don't want to know. Yeah, I want to think that you're pumped. Like, that shit is under your skin. Yeah, I feel that. What advice would you give to an up-and-coming drag queen? What's the best piece of advice? Words of wisdom from Ariel Sinclair.
I would say the advice that somebody gave me when I was young is to stay humble. Don't become an asshole. Don't become... a bitchy drag queen, and, I mean, being a bitchy drag queen is fun sometimes, but stay humble and know who you are, and, that'll be the best thing to get you anywhere.
Yeah, I think being a bitchy drag queen can be cool and fun, and it works great for some people. I always say keep it on the stage. I want to see that bitchy persona on the stage, lighthearted, of course, and all a tongue-in-cheek. But then when I come to talk to you at the bar, or you're dealing with promoters and bartenders and things like that, be nice, be respectful. We're all working towards the same goal. We're all trying to entertain. Don't be a dickhead. Like, my other piece of advice is, I always say to queens, find what your talent is and put it on stage. Like, I'm a trained dancer, so I use my dance abilities as my platform and my performance. I've seen other queens that are visual artists that do some sort of like multimedia visual piece. I think you just need to figure out what you're good at. If you are not a dancer, don't go out there trying to dance and do choreography that you're not capable of. If you're not a singer, don't sing. Like, everyone has to find their niche, their comedy. You're really great at hosting. That's one of my favorite things about you, is that you really know how to hold an audience and interact with them really well. How has your drag evolved over the years? What has changed? What have you learned? What makes the Ariel that we have now here in the present?
I think by just doing it all the time and, taking advice from some people. And that's another thing about drag. It's like you shouldn't be afraid to, be like, oh, yeah, I need help with this. Or how did you do that? Or, what style of makeup is that? Like, where'd you get that from? Like, always ask questions and always be inquisitive and always, never stop. Just always keep trying different things.
Yeah, I've never had a drag mother or anything like that, but I've grown from my peers and working with people, and I'll be in a dressing room and be like, oh, you should try doing this. And I try it. If I like it, I do it. If I don't, then I'm like, well, that's for you. That's not for me. You just got to figure out what you like and what you want to do. We're now going to enter in a different segment of our podcast and Funhouse experience. We're now going to enter my crown room. This is just next door to the drag room. This is where I keep all of my crowns and my sashes. Are you blinded?
Oh my God, Fifi! How many crowns do you have?
Wait, let me actually count how many crowns. Well, so I've gone little ones.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning and tell me which is the first crown. This one?
No, so this is my first crown is this little plastic one over here. This is from Fall Ball, which was a drag competition at my college. I was Miss Fall Ball Queen 2000. I think it was 2011. I want to say, and it was like it's a plastic men's like Party City crown is what I got, and then
it looks really nice though.
I mean, I've had it restored and sheened and dipped in gold. It used to be plastic, now it's just solid gold. But then next to it, I have my Miss America crown, which was my first ever pageant title.
What year was that?
2016. I think I won in 2015, but my reign was 2016. That's how they do it. That's how Miss America does it. So that's how Miss America. That's MISS''D America.
And where is that?
That's held in Atlantic City. It's a charity pageant held in Atlantic City. It started years ago by all of the queens that worked backstage at the Miss America pageant in Atlantic City, and now it's become this big thing. It's at Borgata now every year, and Borgata actually sponsors it and provides the space. It's really, really lovely.
And what is the charity for it?
It's different LGBT groups in South Jersey. So it's the ACGLBT Alliance. It's Atlantic City's LGBT charity and support group. So they send out to different organizations.
And how many years have they been doing that?
I think Adriana Trenta might be Miss America 25. I think she's the 25th. It wasn't consecutive. They did take a few years off at some point, but I think there have been 25 Miss Americas. I think I was 23 or 22. Honey Davenport crowned me, and then I crowned Mimi M first, and Mimi M first crowned Pataya Hart, and Pataya Hart crowned Adriana Trenta, the current Miss America.
Wasn't Tina Burner also?
No, Tina Burner competed. She's competed a few times for Miss America, but she hasn't won it. Sable Cities was a Miss America. Kitty Hiccups, Michelle Dupree, who is a former Miss Continental as well. She won it. That's one of my favorite pageants, because almost for bad reasons. She won Miss Continental, and it had been years since a non-transgender contestant had won Miss Continental. She got booed, while she was being crowned. It was crazy, but the
girls were not happy.
They were not having it, but it was a monumental moment for a boy queen to win, a male-bodied queen to win that pageant.
And since then, I think we've had a few boys win Miss Continental.
Brooklyn Heights had won since then, and Naisha Lopez won since then. And then we've had lots of lovely women have also won. Current reigning is Stasha Sanchez. She's gorgeous. Lovely. She's so stunning. Then after Miss America, I won.
What is this big crown?
This is. I'm trying to remember. It escapes me. I have so many. is this Miss Boots and Saddles? I think this might be Miss Boots and Saddles. I also was Miss Cherry Lane. I was Fire Island Entertainer of the Year, which I didn't get a crown for. I got half a sash that I had to tear in half and give one half to Safira Cristal. I also was Miss Gay Western States America last year, which I went on to compete at Miss Gay America.
What is that experience like, Miss Gay America?
Miss Gay America, it was an incredible experience. I had an amazing time. All the girls were so sweet. Everyone was so nice. It's very communicative. I had also done Continental, and I liked it. I loved the stage experience and the platform and the opportunity that it offers. But the backstage experience wasn't my favorite. I didn't get great vibes and energy from everybody. Everybody was there, like, being very serious and there for themselves.
There was no camaraderie.
No, it wasn't like with your girlfriends. It was, this is my competition. These girls are my competition. And with America, I didn't feel that way. I had a really lovely time. So I placed top 10 last year, and then I went on to compete again at New York, and I placed third. Pattaya Hart placed second, and Truly Fabu won. So I, of course, wanted to go and do it again. So I went out to St. Louis for Miss Gay Midwest America, and I won that title. So I'm now the current reigning Miss Gay Midwest America, going on to Miss Gay America in October in St. Louis.
Now, is it okay that you live in New York and you're Miss
Yes.
Midwest?
So there are there's regional pageants and like closed state pageants and state pageants. So the state ones, like Miss Texas, there's like 6 prelims to go to Miss Texas. So you become Miss Houston, Miss Austin, and first runner-up all get to go to Miss Texas. And then only 2 of them win Miss Texas or first runner-up and get to go to Miss Gay America. So it's kind of a mini Miss Gay America. And then there's also regional, which just means anyone from all over the state can come and do that. New York is like an open pageant. Midwest is an open pageant. Western States is an open pageant. There's quite a few. But then there's also like, I think some of the other ones, like Miss Gay DC, I think was like a tri-state pageant. You had to be within 3 states touching it. There's lots of rules when it comes to.
So with some of them, you don't have to live in the state, but you could still win the pageant.
Correct. Like if I wanted to go and win Miss Arizona, I would have to live there, I think, for 6 months before I'm qualified to compete in a Miss Arizona prelim.
Now, let me ask you, what is your favorite thing about pageants and your least favorite thing about pageants?
My favorite thing about pageants is honestly the critiques, like getting to grow and learn from people who have done it in this industry for years and years and years. The crowns are nice, and the reigning and the traveling is probably my second favorite part, getting to go to new states and new cities. My least favorite part, interview. Like talking to people that I've never met. Like I can talk to you, I can talk on a podcast, I have no problem. For some reason, when I get in that room, I have 6 strangers sitting in front of me, staring and wanting to make me tell them about myself. I can do it on this, but for some reason, when I get in that room, I clam up and I get nervous.
And you go, yeah.
Chew on them ums. Yeah, I love an yeah. It's for some reason I just clam up and I can't do it. But I am working on it, and I want to do some mock interviews, which is where you invite people that don't know anything about you, and they get to ask you questions and then tell you honestly how you answered them and how you dealt with the situation.
What are some of the questions they ask you?
They want to know, so in interview, this is not on-stage question, that's a different thing. So in interview, they ask you about your life, about your aspirations, your goals, where you see yourself in 10 years, what makes you unique. Like, it's basic, like, job interview questions or personal interview questions, just getting to know you better, why you would make a good candidate for whatever title you're going for. Speaking of interview, we've done a little bit of an interview. So our interview portion of the Miss Gay Fifis Funhouse America pageant, which you're now competing in, just so you know, has completed. So the interview portion is complete. We'll do a moment in my kiddie pool over here for swimsuit. Oh my goodness, Ariel, I love your swimsuit. It's gorgeous.
It's the Little Mermaid.
I was gonna say I love the Ariel artwork on your
and the ruffles.
Yeah, and your water wings really sell it. And the marabou mules you're wearing to top it all off with your Disney tote bag.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now for talent, what would you say your biggest talent or attribute to the entertainment industry would be?
I always love comedy. I always love to make people laugh. I like to have fun. I don't like to be too serious with doing drag.
Yeah.
And that where I feel like that's my strongest part is, comedy.
I think in pageantry especially, a lot of people forget that drag is fun. I always tell people, especially like with Miss America, that is such a fun pageant. It's such a great weekend. They're like, oh, I want to go and win. And I'm like, no, go to have fun. And then when you're having fun, the audience will have fun, the judges will have fun, and you'll win. That's the big
I always say go to win, but also go to learn and have fun.
Yeah. I think going to have fun is the first thing for me because you're not always going to win, and you're just going to be mad if you only go to win.
Absolutely.
So if you go to have fun and then just so happen to win, win-win. We're now going to go to evening gown and onstage question. Oh my God, Ariel, this swimsuit reveals into an evening gown?
Sure does.
Wow, you're just incredible. I don't know how you fit all those bugle beads underneath that swimsuit, and I didn't even notice.
And I wanted it to look like a mermaid tail, does it?
It absolutely does. It's iridescent. It's gorgeous. It's transcendent. You look radiant. Opulence. You earn everything. Oh, wait, is it own everything? I don't know. Drag Race has got my vocabulary all messed up. Now we're going to move on to onstage question. Oh, please take a step up onto my pedestal, my stage, if you will. The lighting in here is making you look 13. So your question, Ariel, shall you choose to accept it, is what is your favorite color and why? Again, the question is, what is your favorite color and why?
Fifi, thank you so much for asking me that amazing question. The question asked to me tonight in Fifis Funhouse was, what is my favorite color and why? And the answer is, my favorite colors are red, white, and blue. The colors of our flag and our freedom. Thank you.
Absolutely. So lovely. So well spoken. We now need to wait for the judges to tally the scores. We have a verdict. This just in. Congratulations, Ariel Sinclair. You have just been crowned the first ever Miss Gay Fifis Funhouse America 2019. Congratulations. The one applause. How do you feel?
I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to say. This has been the best day of my life.
I'm so happy. Well, I hope this gown can withstand a slide, because we're going to take another slide back into our foyer. Are you ready? After you.
Whee!
Oh, woohoo! Well, Ariel, thank you so much for joining me here on Fifis Funhouse. I've had a lovely time. I have a goodie bag for you to take home with you, full of products from our sponsors like Dollar Tree and not Hobby Lobby. I was going to say Hobby Lobby, but we don't shop there because they're homophobic. So we're gonna send those sponsorship back.
I love a good Dollar Tree nail.
I love a Dollar Tree nail. So funny when queens they'll ask me about like, oh, what are you wearing? I'm like, my nails from Dollar Tree. I only use the super glue from Dollar Tree because it's the best glue that I found. I love. I'm stuck up on Epsom salt because that's how I keep from falling apart at the end of the night, as I soak in Epsom salt baths that I get from Dollar Tree. I love a Dollar Tree. I could furnish my house with a Dollar Tree. I actually furnished Fifi's Funhouse with a mix of Dollar Tree products as well as Swarovski crystals, real diamonds, and marble linoleum.
This place is amazing. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. And also thank you to our listeners for coming out. You can follow Ariel Sinclair on all social media at
Sinclair_Ariel on Instagram and Ariel Sinclair on Facebook. And ladies and gentlemen, we will see you all at the Invasion, 4th of July.
July 4th, we meet at noon in Cherry Grove at the Ice Palace to get your tickets. And then we head over, well, the boat leaves at noon.
Yes.
So you need to be there before noon to get your ticket, to get on the boat. It's a lovely time. Come and drag, most extravagant, comfy, do whatever works for you. I've seen it all. You can look online and look at some amazing pictures from past invasions on the Instagram. I'm going to try and post some photos from myself and Ariel from previous years of the invasion. I'm really excited about this year. I still haven't decided between two outfits. I'm flustered and just too excited to decide. But thank you all for listening. You can follow me at Fifi Dubois DQ on Instagram. You can also follow at Fifis Funhouse. That's FIFIS FUNHOUSE. New Instagram. So come and give us a follow. Give us a like on Apple Music, Stitcher, anywhere you get your podcast from. Please subscribe and rate. Only if you have nice things to say. If you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. I've had an amazing time. Welcome to the Funhouse. We'll see you next time. Have a fierce, fun, fine, fabulous, and flawless day. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Fifis Funhouse, presented proudly by Whatever You Say Productions. To learn about this show, join us at whateveryousayproductions.com/Fifis Funhouse and on Instagram at Fifis Funhouse. See you next time.